Cambridge, Ma.
Foreign. Massachusetts. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is home to some of the world's greatest minds. Key researchers are on the forefront of innovation, including the development of wireless transmission of power. Wireless transmission of electricity has eluded scientists for years. Radio waves, microwaves, and even laser beam transmission of power have fallen short of actually achieving that goal. The ideas of Tesla for wireless power have only been briefly investigated by various scientists, and the tests that were done by Tesla in 1899 to 1900 in Colorado Springs verified the fact that the use of wireless was actually possible. Tesla went out to Colorado Springs to see if he could send electricity miles, which is a tremendous achievement. But he had a huge tower and there was 200 feet to the top. His assistant was located at the laboratory, and Tesla said, "When I give you the signal, I want you to throw the switch and fire up the wireless system." Tesla probably walked 4 miles away. Tesla inserted light bulbs into the earth to see if his tower was in fact creating a wireless circuit with the ground. If so, the bulbs would light up. These light bulbs were being lit, so he was able to establish that he could transmit electrical power over great distances. But he did keep it a secret. He even kept the mechanics a secret from his assistant, who didn't totally know all the details of what he was doing. Foreign. New York. 1901. Tesla convinces banker J.P. Morgan to give him $150,000 for the construction of a radio station. But instead, he uses the money to build a giant wireless transmitter he calls. By 1908 the project was completely abandoned, and in 1917, the tower was demolished. No company, no corporation wants to give away its technology freely, so Tesla was shut down so that the world wouldn't have free energy. But just how was these inventions based on his visionary experiences? One of his greatest creations is the rotating magnetic field, and that came in a flash of intuition. He felt that we were receivers, that all impulses came from the outside and that we worked on these impulses. So he doesn't believe that they come from dreams or inner visions. He really felt that we were, in a sense, self-propelled robots. Some ancient astronaut theorists believe there may be another explanation for Tesla's uncanny abilities and mysterious visions. They suggest the spontaneous episodes are proof that Tesla was receiving information from an otherworldly source. These images would literally burst into his mind. Somehow, somewhere, some connection was made in the same way that biblical prophets received their prophecy. Nikola Tesla was clearly in touch with something. You have to wonder if extraterrestrials themselves weren't feeding him images of inventions that only he could understand. Nikola Tesla felt there was a knowledge base located somewhere in the universe that all of humanity could tap into if they just knew how to properly tune their minds to this knowledge base. Colorado Springs. July 1899. While testing a magnifying transmitter built to track storms, Nikola Tesla claims he received some sort of transmission from an unknown source. One night, he was tracking thunderstorms 600 miles away, but all of a sudden he heard these beeps. It was 3 beeps in sequence, and so it was mathematical and it didn't make any sense to him. The more he thought about it, he thought that they came from outer space, perhaps from the Martians. Foreign. Orbit brings it close to the Earth periodically, about once every 1.8 years. At one of those close encounters, he believed he was picking up signals from Mars. He most likely had read a receiver that was sensitive enough to receive radio waves, as we now know, coming from galaxies and lots of different extraterrestrial sources. So he interpreted them as signals from ETs, but perhaps he had an open channel that we really still don't understand today. Tesla believed it's absurd to think we are the only intelligent beings in the universe. If that's the case, where are they in the intelligence hierarchy, and why wouldn't they want to communicate with an intelligent force on the Earth? Tesla reported this otherworldly communication and proclaimed his belief in extraterrestrials in February of 1901 in an article for Collier's Weekly titled, Talking with the Planets. Tesla became obsessed with trying to receive further radio communications from other planets. Based on these transmissions that Tesla was receiving, he developed a theory that this extraterrestrial presence had been on Earth for millennia, and that these extraterrestrials had been controlling mankind from the very beginning. How far did these communications go? Did it lead to the point where powerful man? Then it came out that he was trying to perhaps signal the planet Mars, and his enemies exploited this, I think, to try and discredit him. Tesla talked about atoms working like solar systems and that light could work as a wave and a particle. Einstein got a Nobel Prize for saying light worked like a particle, and Bohr and Rutherford got Nobel Prizes for saying that atoms were like little solar systems. So why is he removed from the epic history of quantum physics when he really belongs at the heart of it? I think he's been unfairly treated by the physicists, and part of the reason is his attachment to extraterrestrials. Was Nikola Tesla simply letting his imagination get the better of him, or is it possible he really was in contact with extraterrestrial beings?
Belgrade, Serbia.
Housing more than 160,000 documents, the Nikola Tesla Museum offers rare insight into some of Tesla's future plans, including what some believe to be drawings of spaceships. According to historians, Tesla began work on his flying machine in 1910, focusing on the use of field propulsion or anti-gravity. It is believed Tesla had discovered that high amounts of electricity could actually create lift in an object. Throughout the 1920s and 30s, Tesla continually talked about anti-gravity ships that could derive power from his Wardenclyffe towers that were going to be broadcasting power. He claimed these ships did not have wings or fuel, they were completely electric. But were Tesla's designs truly the first of their kind, or is it possible, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, that similar vehicles had already visited the planet in the remote past? In the ancient Indian epic sounds very much like Tesla's death ray. This is exactly the kind of technology that Tesla was talking about in the 1920s and 30s, using these beam weapons.